And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Josh Thompson, I don't know if you realize this, but 211 PC, where you live in the state of California, is a robbery, and the Weighing In podcast is going to talk about the robbery that we saw tonight. There was a couple of them. There was some people that lost money over fights they should not have paid for, and there was some robberies going on in the UFC. Welcome to the Weighing In podcast, and my partner, the real Punk Josh Thompson, is here to talk with me about everything that's happening, and it was the last UFC of the year. We are now in a dry rut going through Christmas, but that's okay because we got all kinds of things that we can talk about in combat sports. What's up, my man?
God, we're going to talk about that dismal fucking fight we saw tonight with Tyron Woodley and fucking Jake goddamn Paul. God, it was horrible to watch. Oh, it just was so upsetting. Anyways, let's get into the UFC because the UFC had some fucking amazing fight with some really fucking bad judging. So let's talk about that. Let's get right into your realm of fucking bullshit judging. God, it was horrible to fucking watch. I was just disappointed in the fact that I had to hear some of these calls. Somebody got robbed. They got robbed so damn bad. But let's scroll down to this, Dave. Can you scroll down to this card so we can talk about the card? Look, I really honestly, I have not a lot to talk about until you get to Charles Jourdain and Andrew. I don't even know how you say his last name, Ewell. But it was a fucking great fight. Honestly, John, I thought that fight should have been closer to the main event, or not main event, but closer to the main card. Could have been the main event of the prelims. It was a great fight from the beginning to the end. I had Andrew Ewell winning the first round. It was a close round. Andre winning the first round. It was close. It was a good fight. Like I said, look, you guys, when you guys get mad at me for not understanding or saying how to say these people's names, I don't listen to the commentary. You want to know why?
That'll get you in trouble. Don't you remember my last one? I got in trouble.
I don't listen to it. I don't even, and I'm not trying to follow the Dominic Cruz bullshit, but I don't listen to it even when my boy DC's calling it. There's times where I turn it up. There's times I turn it down. John's the same way. I know we've talked about this. Yeah. But, you know, like, I don't need to hear people announcing their names. I don't need to hear about that shit. I want to talk about the fight and the fight itself. And so when we're talking about this fight was amazing. From beginning to end, I could not take my eyes off the fight. I actually went back and watched it twice in between, like, a couple of the fights because there's all these commercials when you're watching on ESPN Plus. Just garbage. And so I actually went back and watched it.
Over and over, man.
Over and over. I'm like, gosh, I've seen this. Can you give me something else? And so I went back and I watched it. I actually almost watched it almost a full 2 times. It was a fantastic fight. Yeah. Fantastic fight. From beginning to end, I had Andre winning the first round. It was close, but I had him winning the first round. Okay. He was the faster. He was a more precise fighter in the first round. But you could tell that he started to slow down. The explosiveness wasn't there as much. His combinations were coming out in 1s and 2s. There was no more 3s and 4s. It was a great fight, but Jourdain just started ripping the leg kicks, started going to the body, and he just started finding the range, and the speed was there. He had the speed throughout the whole fight, where Andre lost the speed after the first round. To me, John, this was to me, like, I would say probably number 2, probably second best fight of the night. Maybe third, but it was close. It was in that mix of the top 3 fights. I could have seen this fight be on the main card. Honestly, Jourdain is one of those fighters. He should be on the main card or the main event of the prelims almost every single time. Every time I've watched him fight, he is fucking must-watch TV. He's fun. He is so fun to watch fight.
I agree with you. If you go back to our last podcast talking about this, upcoming show, what's one of the fights that we talked about? It was Jourdain against Ewell because it's a style thing, and it was a big thing was Ewell coming up in weight because normally he was fighting at bantamweight, coming up into featherweight. He had problems with cardio. He had slowed down. Would that, not losing all that weight because he's a tall guy anyways, and losing the weight was going to be a problem before. So maybe it was going to be where he could actually maintain, but no one's going to maintain. I don't care what kind of shape you're in. When you are getting lit up at times like Jourdain was hitting, because he was up and down on him. he had him confused the whole time. He was hitting him low with the low kicks, inside, outside. He was hitting him with kicks to the body. He was hitting him with body shots. He was coming in with elbows. He lit him up with uppercuts, hooks. He didn't know what was coming, and he was confused. And then he was doing spinning back kicks, spinning back fists. He was doing all kinds of things. You're looking at a guy that was going into the toolbox and just pulling out everything and throwing it at him. And, dude, and then at the third round when he starts yelling, you guys, those are those moments. There's been fights like that before, but you're absolutely right. Jourdain is fun to watch. He's one of those guys you look and say, I will pay to watch that man fight anytime, because he gives you everything he has. And he throws it out there, and he's not that careful guy that's going to, try to just edge out and win. He's trying to finish you the entire time, and that was a great contest. It was fantastic. I loved it just like you did.
Yeah, I think his weakness is obviously probably on the ground, but the thing
is, he's a black belt. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so he's not. His wrestling is where his weakness is.
Yeah, so the control and getting back up to his feet is probably where he suffers the most.
I agree.
But I really believe that he is must-watch TV. He's so fun. If you match him up properly, which the UFC should do, if you match him up properly, we could see some really good fights from him. And as he gets more confidence and he grows more, I really believe that he will be somebody that can make a run to the title. I'm not saying he's going to win the title, but I'm saying we could see him in that top 6, top 8, top 10 for sure. But I want to see him in that top 4 or 5. I think we could see him get to there because he is fun. If the UFC matches him up properly, I think we could see him there.
Yeah, he's in a tough weight class, but look, he's the kind of guy you're looking for. If you're a promoter, if you're the UFC, you're going, Yep. You're on the last fight of your contract, and yes, we're going to re-sign you because
absolutely
he's what you're looking for.
Is he on the last fight of his contract?
He was.
Oh, jeez, man.
I know.
Hey. Hello, Bellator. Hey, hint, 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 hint.
I don't think he wants to go anywhere. I don't blame him.
I know. If he was smart, he would stay. Just be honest. I mean, look, I'd love to Stillman, get him over to Bellator, but look, it really comes down to he's coming off of a win. Yeah. He looked great.
He did.
And I don't know. He's just fun to watch. And like I said, even when he had lost to, who was it? Arosa, I think is who he fought last. When he had lost to him, he still looked good. He still looked good. There was some in the fight before that. He looked fabulous as well. Was it Arosa?
Yeah, he lost to Arosa.
I could be wrong. He lost
Julian
to Arosa.
Arosa.
But anyways, he still has some good action in that fight. Some good combinations. You can tell he puts everything behind his punches and kicks. It's just fun to watch.
Yeah,
John. What other fights on this card? You go to this other fights on these cards?
Well, I thought Melissa Gatto looked great against Sijara Eubanks, because even when she was taken down and she was on her back, she was attacking. She was going after things. She wasn't just guarding and holding and trying to control. She was going after Sijara, and the first
round she was a little she was on her back. She was going after stuff, but nothing was close.
No, nothing was close. I admit it. But you're also talking about someone in Sijara Eubanks who's very good with her jiu-jitsu. Yeah. She's not, someone that she's average on the ground. She's good on the ground. So you're taking a look and say, I'm okay that Sijara was able to stop everything. At least. Yeah. She was making Sijara have to work defensively and think about what was happening, which was limiting what Sijara was able to do as far as her ground and pound, which is what she wanted to accomplish, and she wasn't able to. And then that body kick, the way it landed, it cracked me up. I had the commentary on, and they go, and Brendan Fitzgerald, groin kick. I'm like, are you high? Unless her groins are about 3 inches below her frickin' nipples. Ain't no freaking way, dude.
Below the nipples, that was great. I thought she looked good. I thought she was one of the. She basically what she did was she figured out the strength of Sijara in the first round.
Yeah,
she realized she had no advantage on the bottom. She tried to make everything happen in the second round. Every time Sijara tried to take her down, she made her pay.
But what about the sweep?
Yes, that was beautiful.
Oh.
She came in. She did with that elevator sweep. She did a little hook sweep there. It was beautiful. Nicely done. And the rest of the round was hers. But she just did a lot of good things after that sweep, though. She figured her out in the first round. And I was thinking to myself, because I heard a little bit of the commentary when I was trying to like turn it up, turn it down, turn it up, turn it down. And they said something about like, I don't know why Sajara keeps checking her down. I was like, did you guys not watch the first round? She was dominating the first round. I could see why Sajara took her down after the first round. But then when she got swept, she went back to it again in the third. I'm like, what are you doing? You realize that now that you're tired, you're not the same person you were in the first. Your technique is not as good. Your strength is not as much. So she needed to actually try to keep it on the feet. But even on the feet, Gadelha was like, she was touching her with long range punching, and she was getting hurt. So overall, though, I thought Gato, she did a good job. She was sticking and moving, but she was dominant on the ground. I thought it was a very impressive job, though. Very impressive job.
She's good. She's gonna be fun to watch, man. I don't know who they're gonna put her against next, but that was impressive. Really an impressive performance.
Let's talk about the only fucking human being ever to miss weight as a heavyweight. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about it. Justin Tafa.
Yeah, okay, hold on. But you got to be honest. And you got to look at the entire. No, man,
John. You're fucking heavyweight, dude. What are you doing, Mr. Wade?
Dude,
what
I can miss weight. I could miss weight.
Jeez.
No, come on, man. I mean, he was in a position where they're putting him into quarantine, and it's like he can't train. I mean, it was like, I admit, I'm the first person to say, man, I tell you, that's part of your job, man. You make weight. And he should have made weight. He should have been back in. I'm not as worried about Justin Tafa losing weight as I am a bantamweight, a flyweight, even a featherweight. Sit your ass in the sauna and lose the weight and make weight. Okay, it was 2 pounds. You definitely have the 2 pounds to lose. So it's not like, you're sucked dry. But I take a look at the situation. He was in a bad situation, with what was occurring around him. So I'll kind of give it to him. He's getting punished by losing some money.
You guys, this is John trying to side with the heavyweights because he's a fucking heavyweight. That's why. John being a heavyweight homer. John is a homer for heavyweights.
Heavyweight
homer. Guys.
Normally I would be all over it and say, man, that's just bullshit. But I kind of look at it, man, he got screwed.
Heavyweights only got to sit in the sauna for less than 2 minutes to lose 2 pounds. I swear. I used to sit in the sauna with Bobby Southworth. I kid you not. 20, 30 minutes, he had lost over 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Hands down, he would lose 10 pounds. I'm like, this is bullshit, man. I'd be in there for fucking like hour and a half to lose 10, 15 pounds. It would take me forever. I'd do like 30 minutes straight, take like a 5-minute rest, come back in, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes off, 5 minutes off. It would take me forever to lose fucking 10 pounds. Bobby Southworth would walk in, quick. 20, 30 minutes, 10 pounds gone. Tafa, 10 pounds, 2 pounds, it would take him 30, 40 seconds. I swear to you. Come on, guy. Come on. Don't side with the heavyweights right now.
I'm siding with Justin Tafa on this one.
Jeez.
He got screwed.
All right. I'm going to skip the Mercer
And look at
fight.
it this way. Hold on. Just think about it. The man set a record. Okay? They're all big into the records today, and that was a record, so hey. Congratulations, Justin. You set a record.
You're a jerk. All right. So I'm going to skip the Mercer fight. To me, it was kind of boring. I was falling asleep, actually, to be honest, during it. There was a lot of wrestling, a lot of grappling, It was a lot of just laying on each other until someone made a mistake.
But it was a very nice finish.
But it was a nice finish.
It was a nice finish.
It just didn't tickle me fancy. I was like actually in and out of sleep. Trying to watch the fight, John. I'm being honest, man.
Well, then Cub Swanson should have woke you up, man.
He woke my ass up.
There you go.
He looked so damn good. And when they started talking about his family, I was like, ooh, God,
I know.
This is not a recipe for a good thing. I just started freaking out. I'm like, no. Because we all know Kenda. And Kenda, they have 3 beautiful children.
Yep.
And he's such a great guy,
he's
man.
A great guy.
He trains with those guys. He trains with Juan Archuleta and TJ Dillashaw and that whole crew. And they're great people, man. I mean, like, you guys can feel how you want about any of them individually, but honestly, like, Cub is a fucking amazing person.
Cub's an awesome guy. Also, Cub works. He works out and he does training for people at the UFC gym in Costa Mesa. And he's a goddamn fucking hero there for the stuff he does. He's just a good fucking human being. He's a good guy. He's a good husband to Kenda. He's a great father. And he's been a great fighter for the UFC. He's always gone out there and tried to give everything that he has. And this was a very impressive performance. And I liked the way that he was I liked the game plan that they had, keeping his hands down low. That was going to help stop the takedowns because his hands are in position to help with, stopping the takedowns if Elkins is going for him. I thought that was kind of smart. He's going to be much faster than Elkins. So you're looking, saying, we can put our hands down here. His head movement was on. Elkins would throw. He would just slip the shot. Boom, he'd come up and hit him. And he was smacking Darren. Darren was getting touched up, man. He scares me every time he fights, man. He can accept damage, but you can only accept so much.
Yeah. There comes a point when the ref needs to just realize, like, I know this fighter can accept damage. I know he can continue to take this, but how much further do we really want to allow this to go? Because someone has taken damage, so much damage throughout his career. I don't want to be that ref that allows that to continue to happen the way it was tonight.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't just getting hit and like, okay, I'll walk through it. He was getting hit and rocked.
Oh yeah.
It was noticeable. He got dropped to his knees. He got wobbled a little bit. He got rocked back a little bit. It was, okay, this is not where I want to see. I don't care who you're fighting, but Cub is also one of those guys that when he hurts you, he's trying to put your ass away.
Oh yeah.
And so when you're dealing with someone like a Cub Swanson and you're dealing with Darren, who takes damage, as a ref, you have to understand the amount of damage he took in just that short a period of time was too much. And so I thought I was very supportive of the stoppage, and I know I want to let the person go out on their shield. I want that. I will always be that person. But when we start getting to those guys that have been known to take damage, we've got to start putting a line like, hey, I know you can take it, but these are real heavy
I can only let you take so much. I thought Herb did a great job with that. He let him go as far as he could. But you could see when he stopped it, he steps in between because Darren's falling down, going on his face. It was over. There's no reason to have to see the final nail put in the coffin and have him asleep. That is not necessary. It was a great stoppage. He was unable to defend himself at that point, and it was a great win for Cub.
Well, this is what I've always said, and you were in the back with me quite a bit throughout my career. And I told you every single time, and I told every ref this. I said, you do not stop this fight until I stop moving. Yeah. Just give me that respect, because outside of the Ease fight, up until the end of my career, my very last fight, I'd never been finished. There was the Ease fight, which obviously a lot of people would have been finished by that fight, and I can accept that. And then there was the Patricky fight, and I was 39 years old, whatever it was, and I was just thinking to myself, this is it. I'm done. Like this, to me in my mind, when I got done with that fight, I'm like, I can't take the shot like I used to take a shot, and you have to come to grips with the reality. With Darren Elkins, he can still take the shot, but he just is not there. That's the problem. Like with me, with the Patricky fight, I went down. Like, okay, you go down, it's over. Where with him, he keeps coming, which is even worse, to be honest.
Like, it's totally worse.
That's worse. I had fighters that I train with all the time. You could hit them hard in the gym, and they were almost stoned. They would just look at you like they were stuck in stone.
Yep. Frozen.
But they didn't realize they were out. They were out.
Yeah. There's nobody home.
As someone you're sparring with him, you're like, okay, I got to stop. And they're like, oh, keep coming. I'm like, no, you I'm over here now. You're not even facing me anymore. I'm way over there.
Yeah.
So that's the reality you have to face. It sometimes you have to be the person to tell them that you got to stop.
Yeah.
And so for him, he can keep fighting, but he can't fight people like Cub Swanson's level or beyond that, because he's just got the realization is that you're doing it for money, and you're not making that title run. And so that's the hardest part of it. And I don't like to give Herb Dean a lot of credit, because Herb and I have our own beef. And I like Herb, to be honest. I like him as a person.
He's a good
But when
person.
it came to reffing my stuff, I feel like he always there was just things he did that just bugged me. But I like him though. But honestly, I thought he did a wonderful job tonight. It was a great call. The stoppage was fabulous. I thought it was a good job, because Darren's got to just be cautious. And I think as a ref, you got to be cautious of those type of fighters that can take that type of damage.
Yeah, it's a rough call, because you got a guy doing in the back exactly what you would always do, and some other guys, don't stop. If you see me, I can take damage. You get the whole thing, and as the referee, you go, yeah, I know. I'll let you go as far as I can let you go, and you try to make them feel confident in what you're going to do. But Darren's one of those guys that, you have seen him take a ton of damage. That's why it's tattooed on his chest. And it's it's one of those ones you're looking, you got to be very careful with that kind of fighter, especially when he's fighting someone that has a speed advantage and has good power in his hands like Cub, because it can end quickly and badly. And that's why I thought Herb did a great job with that fight. He let him go as far as he could, and in the end, he stopped it at the right time. So,
yep, perfect. Gamrot versus Fajeda. Fajeda, and I thought Fajeda was looking good, not in terms of winning the fight.
No, I didn't think he was winning, but he was doing good.
Close fight, though, back and forth. It was a close fight. There was moments where Fajeda could have started coming ahead, but he just couldn't stop the takedowns. He was continuing to scramble. But I want people to understand, I've fought one time with 2 broken ribs in my sternum. I've heard, and I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that floating ribs and ribs like that are down below, when you break those or those get displaced or anything, it's fucking way worse. So I had them in my sternum where I couldn't breathe, but it was still kind of held together with my sternum and the other ribs because they were right in the middle. I can't imagine the little bottom, little lower ribs, which is where it looked like the knee landed.
Yeah.
If he got hit with that and you're trying to take a deep breath and like you're trying to move and turn and twist, yeah, I'll take a hard pass on that, guys. By the way, I'll take a hard pass.
I don't blame
you try to body lock me or you try to hold me like that and you're squeezing on me after my ribs broken, no thank you. Pass. Hard pass.
Hard pass. I've had a couple of broken ribs in my life.
Yeah, I've heard.
And and I've had the floating rib broken and stuff. Yeah, it's once it breaks and you go to take a breath and you go and it's like uh-oh, and it's just horrible. And it's like you can't get the breath, and it's like, and you feel it. And I have no problems. There was someone who was saying, that's bullshit. That's a submission. No, it's not. Yes, he basically tapped out. Yeah. One of the things people need to remember, they don't use, and they tried to get away from in the ending of the fights, they got away from tap out. Now they, tap out due to submission. If it was a rear naked choke or something like that, yes, they'll say that. But when the fighter basically taps out of that due to a strike, that's a TKO. I know there were some people asking me questions on it. It's a TKO. Yes, he asked for the fight to stop. That's why Jason Herzog stopped the fight. At the moment that, he was doing it, I was watching him going, is Jason saying that was a foul? That's not a foul. What, because kind of was like, talking with him. But it was, Fajeda saying, hey, I got to stop. And there's nothing wrong with that. There comes that point you can get hurt, and it's like you need to stop. But great win for Gamrot. He's a guy they're going to have to look out for because he does have the ability to put the fight onto the mat. And he does it well. His stand-up is not super explosive, but it's good. It can keep him in the fight. It can get him to positions. And his takedowns, he's got some dynamic, entries at times where he gets in deep and he gets a guy down. He's going to be problems for a lot of guys in that division. So I just look at it. I think that's lightweights. Look out, because this guy's going to be just a pain in your ass, always taking you down. You're going to have to fight it off. He's got that Gregor Gillespie look.
What you got to remember is that GSP was never the best striker. He was never the best grappler, never the best submission guy.
Yep.
He was the best at putting it all together at whatever your weaknesses was. So, and sometimes he exploited what you thought your strengths were.
Yeah.
So like Josh Koscheck, he actually went out there and took Koscheck down. He dominated the feet, but then he mixed it up so much, he kept Koscheck guessing. And Koscheck's one of my teammates and one of my closest friends throughout my career. A big pain in my fucking ass, but still one of my closest friends.
Do you remember the first fight between George and Koscheck when it wasn't a championship fight?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember the takedown that Josh Koscheck had? He had a double leg flare that he had George up 5.5, 6 feet in the air and had him sideways in the air. And George never hit the fucking ground other than with his feet.
I will do you one better. Go back to GSP and Matt Hughes, their second fight in Sacramento.
I remember that.
He hit him that double leg, and fucking GSP switches in the air from one side of the wizard to the left side of the wizard.
Pretty fucking cool, wasn't it?
In the air, he switches and defends that takedown. And I thought to myself, Matt Hughes losing this fight.
Oh, yeah.
He's losing this fight. There's no way
Dude,
he's
when
winning
he
this
didn't
fight.
get that takedown, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you're so screwed.
You're so screwed. There's no way. When he was in the air, he switched from whizzing one side to the next and defended that takedown. I'm like, Matt's not winning this fight. And the same thing happened with Koscheck. Koscheck had his feet above his fucking head. He posted the hand and brought his legs back, and he landed on his damn feet like a cat. And I'm thinking to myself, Josh, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you go, what? You know, I was, dude, standing in the cage, I was like, you got to be shitting me.
Koscheck said the same shit after going into that fight. And I'm sure Matt Hughes thought the same thing. You cannot teach a grown man how to wrestle at the level that I wrestle at.
Bullshit. It's different. It's
Apparently
MMA.
not. Apparently that's not true because GSP never wrestled a goddamn day in his life. But he learned real quick wrestling at Simon Fraser and some other schools that were up in Canada that had really damn good wrestlers. Like Igali was from there, he was an Olympic gold medalist who came and wrestled out of Simon Fraser. Absolute stud. And so GSP was up there wrestling with those type of guys and just thinking to myself, damn, if he got that good that quick, he is going to be someone to reckon with the rest of his career. And sure enough, guess what? To me, he's still the greatest welterweight of all time.
Oh, no doubt about it.
But absolutely. So when I look at Gamrot, I think the same thing you think is that he is not the best striker. He's not the best wrestler. He's not the best submission guy. But he knows how to exploit your weakness, and he is good. He is good all the way around. Now, he needs to get better, which I think he will in terms of with his level of competition and his confidence. And I think once those things get better, he's definitely going to be someone to reckon with, like you said.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's going to be fun to watch, though. All right. Ricky Simon.
Where I fucked up, I thought Assunção had a better chance. I thought Rafael Assunção was going to have a way better chance. Getting old.
Yeah.
The speed was a huge factor.
Yeah.
Just, you saw the speed difference, the tenacity, the energy,
just the explosiveness.
Which Ricky brought, just that aggressiveness, like you cannot bully me around.
Well, he bullied.
Yeah, he did.
Assunção, he just bullied him the whole fight. Let's just be honest. You know,
Rafael, wasn't a moment.
Rafael was trying, but he was a step behind the entire time. And then the shots that he got hit with, he got hurt, man. He went out that way. He came right back, but he went out. So, this is one of those ones you're looking at it and you're going, it's time. Yeah. Things aren't going to get better. He was, ranked 12th. He's going to get dropped down, and you got to figure out what's the reason you're fighting.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, he was ranked number 12. You have, what do you see him going from? I could see him potentially being used as a Sean O'Malley, like stepping stone. Song Yadong, you can see a Cody Stamen. Like, I could see them trying to do that to him, but realistically, he's going to probably drop out of the top 15.
I think he's going to be out of the top 15.
Yeah.
Because, figure it out. You got, Ricky's got to be moving up somewhere in there.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
He might be behind, O'Malley or something like that at, 14 or something. Or
I don't think he should
taking O'Malley's spot at 13.
He finished. The fact that he finished Assunção, I don't think he should be behind Sean O'Malley. And I know.
There you go. Guys, you hate.
I do not hate Sean O'Malley.
You're a Sean O'Malley hater.
Sean O'Malley is doing. We
had a viewer that said it. They actually wrote a whole thing on.
They wrote me a big ass long. I get like 2 or 3 every time we do a show. We talk about Sean O'Malley, about how much I hate him, and I don't hate him. I actually really
really like him. I know that.
I actually really like him. I love everything about him. I love his fighting style. I love the way his persona is outside of that. I'm huge Nick Diaz fans as well, and he reminds me a lot of what they were when they were younger. Yeah. And I love everything about him. I love the flashy hair, the weed smoking, all the other stuff that he does. I think it's all great for his reputation as well as his brand. I love everything about it, but he hasn't beaten a top 10 guy. So I think since Ricky Simon's beaten Rafael Assunção, he should be ranked of Sean O'Malley. That's what I think. Now, that doesn't mean, but here, Sean O'Malley, the reason why he hasn't fought any of those top guys, you want to know why? Because he wants more money to fight those top guys, which is brilliant. I've said that 1,000 times. I think it's smart that he does that. And so for you guys think that I hate on him, no. But I do think because he beats, Ricky Simon beat someone ranked ahead of him, he should be ranked ahead of him. And that's it. I like Sean. I think Sean's definitely going to get into the top 5, top 7, top 4, whatever it is here shortly. Because when I look at this ranking system, right? Outside of Chito Vera, who he's already lost to, which is his only loss, I believe. Marlon Moraes, I think he's got a good chance of beating him. It's a tough fight, but I think he's got a good chance of beating him. Okay? As much as I hate to say it, I think he potentially could beat Frankie. I think he beats Pedro Munoz. I think he'll beat Marlon Moraes. I think he beats Dominic Cruz. I really believe right now in this time, I think he beats Dominic Cruz. Merab he has a hard time with.
Yeah.
The amount of wrestling, the amount of just aggressiveness, that just tenacity that he brings, it's going to be a tough fight. I'm not saying he can't win.
No.
I'm saying it's a tough fight. But you get into that Rob Font, that Cody Sanhagen, all right, let's start slowing our roll a little bit, okay? Like, let's just dial it back. I think they're still good fights, but here's the thing. He's going to fight 1 or 2 more fights before he gets to those guys.
Which is only going to make him better.
Which is going to make him better. And he's going to build the confidence. And so I'm all behind Sean O'Malley. I think he is a stud. I think he is somebody that the UFC is looking at going, hello, I'm ready to start cashing in those checks and those pay-per-views. That's where they're taking him. That's exactly where they're taking him.
Absolutely.
So they know that. They're looking at him as like the second coming of Conor McGregor. Now, he won't be a Conor McGregor. Maybe he will, but he's not going to be that level. He's not going to fight Floyd Mayweather. He's not doing that type of stuff to bring in that type of revenue. But he will be up there at the top. I would put him probably close to somebody being up there in terms of making the money. I could see him making probably up in that DC John Jones money, because those guys, they always hit the 700, 600,000 pay-per-views. I think only John broke 1 million once in his whole career. And then look how long he's been a champion. But guys like GSP, that level, I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean,
just a little.
He could though. It depends. If he comes out and starches Rob Font and Aldo and TJ and those guys, I could see that happening. But he's got to starch those guys. If you're not starching those guys, then no, I don't think so. But I think he's still going to be up there. He's going to be a big breadwinner for them. And the UFC knows that. That's why they're doing what they're doing with him right now. They're letting them slow play themselves.
But
so good stuff.
And let's just be honest. The guy that won this fight that we were supposedly talking about, Ricky, that's a tough fight for Sean O'Malley. That's a tough fight.
It is.
That's a tough fight. Ricky is a grinder, and grinders like him will cause problems for guys that are technicians if he can get into them. So the real question is, can he get into him? Or can Sean use his skills and his techniques to keep him at length and pick him apart?
All right, I'm gonna play a devil's advocate here, because that's what I do. I do that very well.
Let's hear it.
By the way, John. No, I think Ricky. I agree with you. Ricky is the antidote for someone that potentially could beat Sean O'Malley. He's that style of fighter that can beat Sean O'Malley.
Yep.
But I don't think he beats Sean O'Malley.
Okay.
I think Sean O'Malley with the long push kick, the up the middle push kick to the face, the long jab, the stick and move, the cardio to go 3 rounds. Now, is it a 5-round fight or is it a 3-round fight? Are we talking about?
Doesn't matter. I'm just saying, if you look at it, Ricky is doing the same thing that O'Malley is. Ricky's getting better. Ricky's way better right now than he was when he first came in the UFC and beat Merab. Right? So you got to win against Merab in that first fight. He's had, a loss, but he's got it going on now. He's got his training camps in position where I think he's comfortable. He's got Fabiano Skerner and, the American top team, Portland, that he's with. And then he comes down into the Irvine area and he works out with Colin Oyama, and he's comfortable with his stand up there, and it's getting better. So I think right now he's got himself tuned into where now he's starting to gain confidence with his stand-up. His stand-up was always that thing that he wasn't confident. He would throw his hands, but it was all over the place at times. It's starting to get better, and you can see where he's actually thinking about what he's doing. He's swinging his head off the center line. He's doing things where he's not allowing himself to be in a position to be hit. So things are getting better for him. And as we always say, confidence. He's getting confident, man.
No, I agree. I agree with you, but he just has just enough right now. Maybe in 2 more fights, he may be a little bit better, but he has just enough right now to get him in trouble with Sean O'Malley.
Possibly.
That's what he's got. Yeah. So, the amount of confidence he has on his stand-up, I think will get him in trouble with Sean O'Malley. But in Sean off of his back, to me, that dangerous Anderson Silva spider game, kind of like he's got the long limbs, the armbar, the triangles, the way to get up. It's very hard to keep someone down who is that long. And so, and it's so funny because the last how many shows I've ever talked to Sean O'Malley, people were they've said is that how much I hate him, and here I am going about him left and right, saying I want to see if anyone actually notices this. To me, the length and the reach is going to be the biggest problem. He's tall, long, and lanky. Like I continue to say, that style is just fucking horrible to deal with when you're someone like a Ricky Simone. You want to know why? Because you're trying to hold him down. He's straightening his arm. He can just pull his legs out and he can defend in some sort of like hook sweep or some sort of like not rubber guard, but butterfly sweep, that type of position. That helps him get back to his feet. Those are the things that people have a hard time dealing with. If I take you down and you can give me the fucking Heisman, that stiff arm, okay, and all of a sudden now I'm down on your ankles, I can't hold you down anymore. And that's the biggest problem with someone like a Sean O'Malley. So if he doesn't want to be held down, he probably won't be held down. But he's still pretty good. He's pretty damn good off of his back. His armbar triangle game and his ability to scramble and his ability to like grapple off his back, he's pretty damn good. Yeah. Now, we don't see a lot of it because he's so damn good on his feet. He likes to stick and move and use that reach and that range to his advantage. But I think Ricky Simone has just enough striking right now to get him in trouble. But in 2 fights, that may change.
Yeah.
So
well, soon
let's
we
be
will
honest,
see.
John. Let's be honest, John. They are not making that damn fight.
No, they're not.
They're not making that fight. We just spent 5 minutes talking about that fight. It's never going to happen.
Exactly. But let's talk about a fight they did make, which was Amanda Lemos versus Angela Hill, where here was another first for the UFC. Angela Hill set the record by starting the fight by having the most strawweight fights. Congratulations. That says, you know what, you're always doing it. You're always getting in there. You're in the gym, so way to go. But I thought she won the fight.
She got fucking robbed, John.
Okay.
It wasn't
I
even
thought she won the fight.
bit.
She lost the first round, but she won the second.
Round.
There's no way in the world you can tell me she didn't win the second round.
There's no way.
No fucking way.
Well, someone needs to tell the dumb judge, what's his name, Crosby, that fucking that's not how you score rounds. Because that was bullshit. She won the second round, hands down. I had her winning the third round as well. I could see the third round being close, but it wasn't that close. She won the damn fight. Angela Hill, you won the damn fight.
Angela Hill, you won that fight. I'm sorry you didn't get it. You deserved it. You fought your ass off. It was a great performance, and it seems to happen to her. It's happened to her a couple of times, man.
It's a shitty situation because she fought through a lot of adversity in that first round.
Yeah.
And at the end of that first round, she landed a great shot on what's her name? Lemos. Yeah, she landed a good shot on her. It also kind of rocked her, not to the point where it dropped her, but it still it landed a clean shot. It was noticeable that she was in trouble, noticeable that she was rocked. But I thought Angela Hill won the second and third round hands down, and I feel bad because we have had this problem, John, with the same damn judge, and I know I've got to tread carefully because we work for a promotion and we deal with this guy a lot. But it's embarrassing. He seems to come up on the wrong side every damn time. And
he's not on the wrong side. Hold on. I want you to think about this. He's not on the wrong side. There was another judge that went 29-28 and gave it to Lemos. And okay, there was one judge, Mike Bell, went and gave it 29-28 to Angela Hill, which I thought was the correct score. There was the 30-27, which was just no.
Ridiculous.
And then there was a 29-28 for Lemos, which gave her the split decision victory. But you look and you go, see, this is the problem, because the odd man out is the guy that probably got it right.
Yeah, it's upsetting though. Like I can't even. It was so noticeable that she won the second and the third that when I heard it was a split, and I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" That's how I was just like,
about what I said.
You got to be kidding me! It's a split. How I don't understand how you got to a split. So, but like I said, we like you and I both, but I mean, like we both got to be very careful about how we talk about this because the judges, we see them all the time. We work for we work for Bellator, and it's like,
but Bellator or the UFC doesn't hire these people. Okay. As far as in this situation, this is the commission that's bringing that person in. There are times when the UFC hires people because they're going to, Abu Dhabi or going to a different place, and they're the ones hiring the officials. But in this situation, they're not.
This is Vegas, right?
This is Vegas.
How did whatever Crosby get his ass all the way to Vegas? Just stay in fucking Connecticut or wherever the hell you're from. Stay there because you're ruining people. These little things like this is not a little thing, John. This ruins fighters' careers. And I've worked for Bellator for about 4 years now. I have been part of some decisions by him and some other judges as well, not just him. I know I'm pointing out him tonight because he was part of this decision. But I've been part of this several times where he has not just been off by 29-28. It's been 30-27 the wrong damn way. Like completely the wrong damn way. Like there's moments where I look and I go, did you mess up on your card and put the wrong name? I could see it 30-27 the other way, but not 30-27 the way you saw it. That is how bad the decisions have been. And so whoever hires him, we've got to figure out a way to put him on the undercard. Even on the undercard, you're still dealing with someone's career. And that's the problem. There's got to come a time where you say, look, it's just not working. We got to cut you. If you're not doing your job, it's time to fire your ass. It's gotten to that point, John. I'm not going to say you agree, but I know you agree.
Okay. I love it.
It's frustrating, John, because as a fighter, I know how much these fighters put so much into it, and to get robbed the way that she got robbed tonight. Angela Hill, I feel for you,
After fighting her ass off.
You fought your damn ass off. You took a lot of punishment in that first round. You finished that first round like a fucking savage, and then you came back and I thought you won clearly the second and the third round. You did not deserve to lose that fight. And it's frustrating to see that. I know the judge that continues to do this to so many fighters. And I don't know what training he needs to go through to figure this shit out, but it's really frustrating, John.
Oh, trust me, he attacks me all the time. So,
well, yeah, he needs to get punched in the face. I'm telling you right now.
He doesn't like me because
I was gonna say another word, but I got caught up in between.
Hey, Dave, do me a favor. There's a thing called MMA Verdict. See if they've already come out with a thing on that fight. They do there's a whole judging thing with MMA Verdict. See if they did the Angela Hill versus Lemos fight. Those are old right there. What the hell are you looking at? Jesus.
I'm on verdictmma.com, just the home.
Okay, that would be it.
What was these are?
It would have been Angela Hill versus Amanda Lemos.
Let's keep going.
This is kind of cool. See, I never knew about shit like this.
Yeah, there you go, man. See, this is actually really good because they'll take a wide range and they'll give a percentage for the round. So sometimes, the percentages will be the guy will win 2 rounds, but in the end, they'll say he's got the better score overall, but it doesn't work when you're using a 10-point must system. But it's a good system as far as seeing where they thought that the people.
I'm downloading the app, so
okay, you download it. And we'll come back.
We'll come back.
All right, Belal Muhammad taking on Stephen Thompson, dude. It's over.
Not much to talk about.
It's over. I'm just telling you, Belal, great job. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. This is where I was listening to Michael Bisping on it. He's saying, this is so frustrating when you're Stephen Thompson. Of course it is. But that's why it's MMA, because you can be Stephen Thompson and be able to keep it on your feet and light Belal Muhammad up, or you can be Belal Muhammad and use your grappling to put Stephen Thompson in a position where he can't use any of that great skill that he has. And that's what he did, and that's what makes MMA what it is. It was a very smart and a great performance by Belal. And Stephen, I love you. He's slowing down, and it is the difference maker. And he landed some good stuff in the fight, but it just can't maintain. And that 25-foot cage for him is death. I know he's had fights, and I know he's won there, but you just look, and if a guy's going to be able to put pressure on him like Belal is, It puts him where his back foot is up against that cage wall all the time, and all it takes is that one motion. All of a sudden, he's got a guy into him, pushing him into the cage, and then they're working towards the takedown. And guys have figured out how to get better at takedowns against the cage, just like they've been better as far as defending against the cage. But a big win for Bilal, but I just don't see. There's always been that question: is Steven going to get that championship fight? Ain't going to happen anymore.
No. In a 25-foot cage, 27-foot, 28, whatever it is, people have to remember.
That's a 25.
So 25 foot, that's 2.5 steps back, and your foot is close to the fence. That's it.
Yep.
Remember the old key in the cage? What were they, 14 feet?
18 foot.
They were 18 foot. You take one step out,
dude,
you guys were already face to face. That
horrible.
was it. You would both take one step out, and you guys were face to face.
Yeah.
That's why some of those fights were some of the best. Those fights were some of the best in MMA history. They weren't the most technical, but they were fun as fuck to watch.
There was nowhere to go, man.
There was nowhere to go.
You talk about phone booth fighting. They actually had a 14-foot cage for a while, and then they went to
That's what I thought.
Cage. Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, I thought it was
early
14
on
foot for a while.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
I think what was his name? Shad something fought
Shad
Dwayne
Smith.
Ludwig. Shad Smith fought Dwayne Ludwig in a 14-foot cage.
Yeah.
That was one of the nastiest knockouts I'd ever seen up until like later on in my career. But yeah, that was nasty. Anyways, this was beautifully executed by Bilal Muhammad, Stephen Thompson. You're right, John. He is getting slower.
Yeah.
Okay, the speed's not there. The ability to stop, the strength is not there as well. What people have to remember is this: as you get older, your physical tendon strength and all the other things that you used when you were younger to defend the takedowns, it's not there anymore. And that's you have to come to grips with that. And the reality is, stuffing the takedowns over and over again and lifting his body up and getting him back up to chest level for an over under, that is gone. When that's gone, and you're predominantly all you are is stand up, what does that leave you? You are not going to have the strength to defend the takedowns against the cage. And you're fighting a 25-foot cage, 2 steps back, you're against the cage. And when your whole game is to use your lateral movement and stick and move, you don't have very far to go. And Bilal, once it got to the point where Bilal threw one punch and he shot in, and once he hit the legs, he only had to do 1 step back and he was against the fence. So it made it easier for him to lock his hands, get the takedown. He struggled in the first round, but Stephen Thompson was still fresh in the first round. And Stephen Thompson is a professional. He comes in ready every single damn time to fight.
Yep.
The problem is, though, at 38, pushing 39, it's not there anymore. Now, he needs to ask himself, what does he want to do? Does he want to be a gatekeeper? Does he want to fight the tough guys? Does he want other young kids to make their career off of him? That's a question that I had to ask myself. And I said no. I said, look, I'm done. I walked away. It was that time. And it's up to Steven whether he wants to do that or not. But
you saw that he said he wants to be the oldest fighter to fight in the UFC. Do you know what age that would be?
39. Oh, sorry, 40. 40. Isn't it 49?
No. 51.
Who's that?
Ron Van Cleef. Go back to UFC 4. He fought Hoist Gracie. He was 51 years of age.
I was thinking of
Randy Couture.
What, 46, 48?
Randy was 47.
47. That's right. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, no thanks, man. Hard pass. I honestly, I'm only 43, 44, 43. So I'm somewhere in there.
You're 43, goddammit.
43. Yeah, I'm 43.
See, I'm honest about your age. You lie about mine all the time, but I'm honest about your age.
I lie about mine too,
I know
John. You know that. I lie about mine too. The older I say I am, the better I look. So, no, we've had this discussion a bunch of times. I walk past the cage and watch these guys get hit, and I'm thinking to myself, fuck, that looks horrible. I have no desire. I was watching T. Wood tonight and Poodle Hair Kid stand face to face in the cage and in the ring, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't miss that at all. Like, the anxiety was going through me right then at that moment. I used to love fighting to the point where I couldn't wait to fucking punch somebody in the face. But at that moment, I was watching them square off. I'm like, this don't look fun.
Yeah.
Especially when I saw Daukaus and fucking Derrick Lewis tonight. Oh. I'm like, Daukaus, you realize this guy is the hardest hitter I think ever.
Oh, he realized. He
know
just
France did.
realized about 3 minutes into the first round. It took that long. What
Brutal.
did it take? Hold on. What did it take? It was
336.
Okay, I was close.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's talk about it. Derrick Lewis and Chris Daukaus.
Well, now we want to talk about one of our favorite sponsors. It is Fume, F-U-M. It is one of the best ways if you want to quit smoking or vaping. It is fantastic for that, getting that hand-to-mouth habit that you kind of built up over time. You can still have that, but now you're going to have it in a natural way that's healthy. You can do this in a bus, in an airplane, in a car, and it will not affect anybody else. You're going to take that Fume prominent that you have. You're going to take one of the cores here, and you're going to fray the end of it, and then take it and put it into that Fume. You'll feel it. It's got essential oils. They're fantastic. There's all kinds of different flavors. My favorite is peppermint, but Conquer is great for you defeating your smoking habit. There's black pepper that also helps. I need you to go to www.breathefume, that's F-U-M, no E, .com/weighing in, and you can use the promo code of weighing in, and you will get 10% off of your order. You can order the prominent, you can order the cores, and you can start to become healthy, or you can actually help somebody else. Great Christmas present. Go to, like I said, www.breathefume and order one for someone that you know is a smoker, a vapor, someone that's got a bad habit and is unhealthy. Help make them a more healthy human being, better their lives, and get them on Fume. It's fantastic. You need to do it now. Man, this is where you just looking. This is where power can change everything. Because Daukaus was, I like the way that what he was trying to do. He's trying to create angles. But if you're not hurting your opponent and it gets to the point where he goes, you're not going to be able to hurt me, that's where problems come when he's got power. And it eventually, it just, the strength and size and speed, because Derrick Lewis is not a slow individual. He's got fast hands and he can move when he wants. Now, most of the time he's standing in one spot, because that's his style. That's what he does. He's going to stand there and wait. But when he decides to go, he's got a lot of fucking output coming your way, and you've got to be able to either slow that down by getting a hold of him and neutralizing it, or you've got to be able to protect yourself the right way and use your feet to get yourself out of trouble. And Daukaus wasn't able to do that. Once his butt hit the cage, he was kind of trapped there, and he started taking those shots, and it only takes one. And he got hurt. He was able to clinch up a little bit. Derrick was able to separate. He kind of started throwing him back himself, and he got, he actually hit Derrick with a pretty good shot, and Derrick just fucking lit him up and put him out. So, the power. Power is an equalizer to great skill or to toughness or anything, man. Derrick Lewis has got power out the gazoo. It's just, can he land it? We've seen it too many times. Look at what he did to to Blades. Look at what, he's done to other guys.
Who's the big tall guy that used to be at Bellator? Volkov.
Guy. Yeah, he took his head off.
Him. Yeah. That was some of the most vicious, nastiest ground pound after he dropped
him. Look at what he did to Travis Brown.
Oh, geez.
I mean, we've seen it too many times. He's got power. Yeah, I think I did it. I think I did his first fight. I don't know if it was his first fight. Maybe it was his second fight. I think he fought Jack May in UFC. That was his first fight there. And man, he was. Did he fight Jack May in there?
In UFC, Jack May. Yep, you're right.
Yep.
Jack May. Was that his? Yep, that was his first fight. Yeah,
John. If you're someone that fights him, your mind's got to be thinking, okay, he's just filling me out right now.
Yeah.
For that first 3.5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you get to that 3.5 minute mark and he starts doing jumping switch kicks in the air.
I love that. Come on. When he comes up and he's doing that, you got to go.
Yeah.
How the hell did you get that ass up that high?
No, you got to start thinking to yourself, I'm fucked. Because he has no respect for anything I'm doing right now.
No, none.
If a big guy like that is doing a jumping switch kick in the air to my head, by the way, not to like my body or my leg or whatever, he's like, he has no concerns about what I'm about to do.
He gives zero fucks about what you've done so far. It's
big fat goose eggs. That's how many fucks he gives. He does not care. And so when I saw him leave the damn ground and do that jumping switch kick, I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, Daukaus is screwed right now. And then he started touching him with some hands. The biggest mistake that Daukaus made is after he escaped that first little barrage against the fence that pushed him back to the fence, he tried to stand and trade.
Yes, he didn't get
Circle, get out, run away to the other side of the
Run,
cage.
Forrest, run.
Look, you guys, and look, and I can say this because I've done this. And when I fought Nate Diaz, guess what my game plan was? My game plan was to strike, circle out, run to the other side of the cage. Okay, like a chicken shit. Run to the other side of the cage because I knew they had a tendency of just walking after you.
And then give you time.
That gave me time to settle myself and go back. Nick and Nate both have that tendency of like, they would turn around and walk after you and say, what, bitch? Come on, fight. They would do that. And I knew that. I studied so much game plan.
And that's 5 to 6 to 7 seconds of time that you can go,
take a deep breath. You landed your shot. You left the judges with a good impression, and you circled out and ran to the other side like a coward. Okay, but then,
it's not a coward. It's called brains.
It's just called having a good game plan.
That's it.
But with Daukaus, he decided to stand and trade back. You don't do that with someone that is known for big power. Yeah. And with me, when I looked at Nate, I looked at he's someone that will stand in front of you. He will trade 12.
He'll take
punches.
yours to give his. That's the way he does it.
Exactly. And so when you look at what he did, he should have circled out, ran to the other side of the cage, and then Derrick Lewis would have had to reset. He would have been a different fighter.
And it would have taken Daryl at least. I'm sorry, Derrick. It would have taken him a good 10 seconds to get to the other side.
Exactly. But here's the other thing.
Gives you time to recover.
After Derrick had flurried the first time, he would have turned around after you had circled out and ran to the other side of the cage. He would have been like, oh, shit, I'm tired. Damn, I just threw 12 punches or 15 punches in 30 seconds. I'm exhausted. You know what I mean? So it would have taken some gas out of him. He would have walked over and they would have probably flirted a little bit more. But the bottom line is you have to use fight IQ. When we talk about fight IQ, that's what you need to use it for. In those moments when you just got rocked, circling out, not standing and trading, not showing you got the bigger balls, it works for something. And that tonight, he didn't have that. He thought, oh, I took everything he has. I'm going to strike back. No. We have seen Derrick Lewis knock dudes out with like a minute left, 10 seconds left, 12 seconds left. We've seen it happen. You want to know why? Because that power is the last thing to go. Tired or not, that big-ass hand touches you in the jaw, you're going to sleep. Yeah. And that's what we saw. We saw it tonight, and it was nasty. We've seen it before. We're going to see it again, I'm sure. He's got the most knockouts in UFC history, I believe. What is it, 13 or 14?
Yeah.
He's a stud.
It really surprised me. Why did they interview Daukaus afterwards, after he'd been knocked? Because he got knocked out, dude. He went out.
Yeah, he was out.
Why are they interviewing him?
I don't know. Joe Rogan wasn't there to tell him no.
There you go. I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Bisping, just you have the power. Just tell the producer when he talks in your ear and says, go talk to Daukaus, say no.
How was did you listen to the commentary tonight? How was it, John?
I listened to most of it. You know, look, I really like Paul Felder. I think Paul does a good job.
I think Paul's absolutely
amazing. Bisping absolutely jumps down his throat at times. Like, it's like he wants to one up him at times. I don't get it, but it's so different comparatively. You know, everything's different. You know, the UFC uses their two color guys, being Paul Felder and Bisping, to call their fight, where Brendan Fitzgerald basically doesn't say anything. He does the promos. He'll say every now and then, something with the fight, but very little. Where Bellator uses like Morrow, he talks all the time, and I'll give little bits in there, and that's why we don't have a 3-man, because they say there's not enough room for everything and stuff, but it's just the difference and stuff. But I think, there's times when, I'm just going to be honest, there's times when Bisping will step on Felder, and we call it stepping on someone when you talk over him. When Felder's given a good point, he's given a really good point. He needs to let him go at times.
Daniel Cormier is going to kill me for this because I've already said this. I think Paul Felder is probably the best guy they have on their roster. And I love me DC. DC is my boy. But I got to tell you, when it comes down to the fight knowledge and the actual breakdown of the actual individual techniques, Paul Felder speaks at a pace, which I have not got down yet myself. We've had this conversation when I'm doing the commentary. Sometimes I get so excited, I just like start talking really fast. Paul Felder does it at a pace where everyone can understand.
Well, and not only
that's
does
what I love about
it.
it.
Not only does he do it at a pace, he doesn't overdo it.
No.
He makes it simple. You don't have to make it real complex. And he doesn't. And that makes it where people understand what he's saying. So it's a good job.
You can also hear in his voice and the way he presents things that he's a very genuine person, and I really enjoy listening to him.
Except he puts ketchup on a Philly cheesesteak. Did you hear that? Did you hear him say that? And I was like,
I thought he was from Philadelphia. Is he from Philadelphia?
Yeah. And I go, oh, that's disgusting. You don't put ketchup on a Philly cheesesteak.
Felder, we got to talk about this.
I know.
It's not good, my friend.
I was like, okay, there's a flaw right there. There's Paul Felder's flaw.
Sean Brady, Eddie Alvarez, get this guy
a
some
hold
help.
of that dude.
Get this guy some
Just
help.
Slap some sense into him, man.
This guy. Philly? Are you ketchup on a Philly cheesesteak? Jeez. Ugh. Disgusting. All right, well, hey, that wraps up our coverage for the UFC tonight, and we're going to break into this Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul Poodle Hair talk, and we're going to talk about that and the presentation of the show itself. But first, I want to say that, God, it was fucking horrible to watch. It was so bad. John, it was must not watch TV. It was bad.
I agree.
The whole thing was shitty. And look, I'm a Frank Gore fan. I thought Darren Williams. I thought it was it was bad boxing. I knew it was bad boxing, but it was, I don't know. I couldn't watch after like round 2. They were both exhausted. Frank Gore was really exhausted.
Well, the first one was what Alamo versus Paulo.
Yeah, I think it was the Russian. It was the Australian guy.
Paro
is the. I think Paro is the Australian guy.
Yes, and these guys, Josh, these
Good
guys
boxers.
were 21-0 and 20-0.
They were good, but they weren't like.
They were not 21-0 good.
No, they were.
Okay.
No, they were Julio Cesar Chavez 21-0. That's what they were. Julio Cesar Chavez
So
was 50-0 before he fought
hopefully
somebody.
somewhere along the way they
had a
become
winning record.
They become Julio Cesar Chavez, but.
Yeah, hopefully.
They weren't that level of good. They weren't those guys. It was there's all kinds of promotions and regional things where they'll put guys against other guys that, unfortunately we'll call a can or something like that. And look, they're okay boxers. They're not that great.
John's trying to be nice right now.
Well,
the best way
okay. Well, the reason I'm saying it is you're talking about a pay-per-view card here.
Yeah.
A pay-per-view card should deliver. Okay, like I've told you, I get 2 pay-per-views per month. That's my thing, right? So I bought the UFC, and I had Poirier versus Oliveira. Fantastic pay-per-view. Doesn't bother me in the least to put money out towards those guys. I think it's great. Man, have it. I hope you guys, get paid more. And then you've got this one. Well, I've got 2 guys at 20-0 and 21-0. They don't belong at that level of fighting. They're not pay-per-view guys. Okay? All right, maybe the first fight on the main card. Okay, I'll give it to you. Then I got Frank Gore against Williams. Come on. That's not pay-per-view quality. Then I get Amanda Serrano, who is the only fighter that I will say is pay-per-view quality on that card. Her opponent was not tough.
Not pay-per-view quality.
Tough lady. Very tough. She took a lot of shots. She took so many body shots. She's going to be peeing bad stuff. And man, I give her credit for not going down from it, but Gutierrez did not have the skill set. She didn't have the speed. She didn't have anything to be in that ring with Amanda Serrano. So Amanda Serrano that's a pay-per-view quality fighter. I'll give it to you. You put Amanda Serrano against Katie Taylor, you've got pay-per-view quality.
Yeah.
And then I get Jake Paul against Tyron Woodley. Now, let's be honest. For 6 rounds, it stunk the place up. They both sucked.
Yep.
Okay. Now, it was a great finish for Jake Paul. Okay. Big time right hand that landed flush and put him face forward. But other than that, it absolutely was horrible.
Yep. John, I think I was waiting for you to stop.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know how to. No, I didn't know how to continue because I'm ready to pass this shit up and move on to the next thing. I want to talk about the news. It was bad. The whole thing was bad. I like Amanda Serrano. She is really damn good.
Yes.
And I really believe that they need to up her level of competition because she's ready for that next level. She's been ready for that next level. She's a stud. She is someone that is ready for that big time, those big time shows. Now, I won't even get into the Frank Gore and Darren Williams thing. I'm not going to get into the first fight. I'm just going to skip all that because I don't want to talk about it.
Let me say one thing. I have nothing against Frank Gore and Williams.
No.
I thought they both fought their butts off. They did great, especially for their first boxing match. But it's not pay-per-view quality.
No, here's the thing. I look at those guys. They've been professional athletes.
Yeah.
Football and basketball. I admire them for the fact that they got in there and actually understand now what it is about to be a fighter. What it is to be a fighter. And when you heard Darren Williams at the end, like, okay, I'm gonna let the professionals fucking handle this shit because this is not for me. That reality of like you fought 4 3-minute rounds and that's all, like you're done. But and like I go back to this whole. Remember that show Fight Club? Remember the movie Fight Club?
Yeah.
You don't know shit about yourself until you've been into a damn fight. And these two guys found out what the reality was when someone's really trying to push you and take your head off. The average street fight lasts what? Less than a minute.
Oh, my God. Not even close to that. 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Yeah. So I heard the average street fight lasts about 48 seconds. That's what I heard.
No.
And that's because they move around a lot. They don't really throw
without
punches.
hitting each other.
So that being said, if the average street fight lasts, say, 48 seconds, these guys fought 4 3-minute rounds. I tip my hat to them. That's a long time to fight for 12 fucking minutes. Is the math right? 12 minutes? Okay, anyway.
That's very good. That was very good.
I was being a smart ass, by the way. I tip my hat to them. These guys, they went out there. They did the best they could. You could see after round 2. Frank Gore.
After round 2, I texted you after round 1. I said, Frank Gore is exhausted.
He's going to have a heart attack.
I did.
He's like, Frank Gore's going to have a fucking heart attack.
I said, he's going to have a heart attack, man.
I looked at him in the corner. His fucking mouth was wide open. And he was hunched over. His corners had to prop him up in the corner. I was like, oh, man, my boy Frank is not doing good right now. He used to train at AK back in the day when he played for the Niners. Yeah. Him and my buddy, one of my buddies, Marcel Reese, was the fullback for the Niners at the time. And the two of them would come in and train, and they'd do some boxing there at AK. And I was like, oh, Frank's got this, man. Frank's going to beat this guy. Shit, no cardio. Cardio is your
It wasn't that he has no cardio. It's just he's not used to fighting. And when you are that tight, when you're tight and you have all that pressure,
yeah, no, I get it.
Goes that fast.
All right, guys, I want to thank you guys, but I want to also thank one of our biggest sponsors, MyBookie.ag. Use that promo code weighing in. MyBookie.ag, use that promo code weighing in. And we're going to give you a little bit of extra spending cash with MyBookie.ag when you guys use that promo code weighing in. The reason why is because if you use that little QR code that's right there, they're going to give you some extra cash. Just because you guys follow us, you listen to us, we want to thank you guys for supporting us. But there's a lot of things to gamble on. Look, you could have bet on the fights tonight. You could have bet on the fights next week and the ones last week that were fantastic. All the fights that are coming up, coming in the future, as well as football. The playoffs are coming about. A lot of games getting closer right now in terms of football. Basketball is coming around as well. You've got a lot of top games right now coming to fruition that are setting the precedent for the playoffs. So make sure that you guys use mybookie.ag for all of your guys' gambling site. Use that promo code weighing in. You guys will not be upset with the fact that we've hooked you guys up with a little bit of extra cash. And that's because we love you guys, because you guys have been supporting us and listening to us. We want to thank you guys so much for being some of our biggest supporters. Thank you so much. MyBookie.ag, use the promo code Wayne, and good luck on those gambling. All right, so look, Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. I thought it was a boring-ass fight all the way up until the very end.
It was horrible.
And that's exactly, I'm going to be 100% honest. Jake Paul looked like garbage.
Yep.
Tyron Woodley,
say it.
he didn't look good either. It was a lot of punching to hugging. I felt like I was watching a Bernard Hopkins fight.
Oh,
That's
you very
how
much.
damn
That's what I
bad
said.
it was.
That's what
I
I
was thinking
said.
to myself, these guys are punching to hug. It was bad. Look, the shot that landed it all is that Jake looked like he was going to go to the body. Tyron tried to like bring his hand down to block it, came over the top, right on the jaw, face down, ass up. And I feel really bad for T Wood because T Wood's my boy, and I wanted him to whoop his ass so bad. And I know it's on Showtime. I know Showtime's invested into Jake Paul, but guess what? Yo, man, when you got friends that are fighting, you care for them, you want them to be successful. It really bothered me that T Wood lost this fight. Look, if he would have lost the decision, I'd be like, all right, he lost the decision. But to lose the way he lost, fuck. It breaks my heart, man. It really does. John, It really hurts me.
Oh, I
because
understand.
I know he got a lot of money. I know he got a Rolex from Jake Paul. I know all these things, but guess what?
Buy his own Rolex.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the biggest thing. Why are you doing this? These are things you could buy for yourself. These are things that you don't. This is the John. When I look at myself, right? Like when I went back and watched the Patricky fight, I never want to end my career like that. But guess what? I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight beyond that to where it was the way it was tonight for T Wood.
Yeah.
Like losing the way I lost, I was like, look, you just can't do it no more. I don't want to do it anymore. So I feel like for all these MMA guys, I want to go out there and fight these guys that are YouTube guys. They're young. What is he, 27, 28 years old?
Oh, he's 24.
Something like that. He's a baby.
24 to 39. There's a 15-year difference.
You guys got to remember, when I was 24, 20, whatever it was, I was in the UFC, or Pride, fighting the best guys in the world. T Wood is not one of the best guys in the world anymore.
No.
Okay, and he was never a boxer. And these guys, like, sure, they're YouTube stars, but guess what? They've dedicated a certain amount of time to box only. And it's in their advantage. We don't just box only.
Yeah, but
That's
hold on.
No.
He
Nothing
has.
you can say is going to convince me. Stop.
No. I'm just saying that Jake Paul says he's going to be going to AKA in San Jose and training with Javier and Khabib to become an MMA fighter. I can't wait to see how they mesh together.
I'm going to tell you this right now.
That's going to be awesome.
You bring that type of YouTube nonsense, bullshit talk around Khabib and the Russians, son, it's not going to be what you think it is. And that's the biggest thing. Do I think that they can help him become a MMA guy? Yes. Let me ask you this, though. Where's he going to fight?
Well, let's be honest. He's got a contract with Showtime.
That's what I get. Yeah, but you're gonna if you try to go to the UFC,
Can't.
like you all the shit you said about Dana White. Now you're gonna go fight for him.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Man, you stupid as fuck. You dumb. I don't understand. Like, I don't see how he could go there. And if he went to Bellator, you're gonna fight at one. Think about this: Gegard Mousasi is your weight class, dude. Like I'm thinking to myself, if I look at the guys in that bracket at 185, Austin Vanderford fucking destroys you. Johnny Eblen destroys you. Tokov destroys you. I'm trying to think of a guy that you can actually beat in the top 10. But I'm not saying you're going to fight the top 10 guys. I know you're not, because that's not what you're going to do. But tell me, John.
Go on. Listen to what he says. I don't see why, if I can do boxing at that high of a level, that I couldn't do MMA at this high of a level. I'm going to go get coached up by Mendez and Team Khabib, and that's that. They're down 100%.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Oh, man. Kevin Holland went and trained with DC for a couple weeks in wrestling. How'd that work in his last fight? Brother,
that was a headbutt in his last fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, but still,
Yeah,
there's
it
got to be
was a
some
headbutt.
time. It was, but I'm still saying. I mean, how's it all going to work out? John, you know it. Like, I'm not saying that Koscheck was like. It's hard to teach someone wrestling at an older age.
Well, hold on. Jake Paul wrestled.
His brother did, not him.
No, he wrestled too.
Oh,
He
I didn't.
did.
I didn't know that.
He
Maybe
wrestled.
he wasn't. Any
He
good.
wasn't as good as his brother,
Yeah,
but he wrestled.
'Cause
So
I saw his brother wrestling with Paulo Costa. Now,
No,
Paulo
no,
Costa,
no,
I
his
know,
brother
is
can wrestle.
not a good wrestler, but he's good in terms of athleticism.
yeah,
Anyways, well, I don't know what that outfit is. He looks like what? Dave, podcast Dave, you're one of those nerds that watches movies like that. What was that movie that
look at him now. He's
it
spent
was called
nuts.
Ass something where the kid ran out and was like trying to be a superhero.
He's got a
dressed like
Bella
that?
Club. No, this is what's that? Oh, damn! What's the one? Super something or other. I can't think of it. He's got like a balaclava on there. It's like, what are you doing?
Dave, there's a movie about a guy. It was like Super Ass or Super something.
Kick-Ass?
Kick-Ass.
Super Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass. That's it.
Is that what he's trying to be?
I don't think so.
Gosh,
He
He
said
looks
what
like
it
a
was
super-
at the press conference. I can't remember.
he looks like a super dumbass. That's what he looks like. All right, hey guys. Well, that wraps up our T Wood and Jake Paul conversation. And
It wasn't good.
jeez, man.
Well, it was good if you're a
horrible.
Jake Paul fan.
Ah,
It was a good knockout. I'll give him that. It was a beautiful right hand. Landed
look,
flush.
ESPN says Jake Paul says he's talking with Khabib's coach Javier Mendez, training him. Oh my God, Javier,
Josh, we just talked about that.
Javier, please. No, I was reading ESPN's post on it though. Not
This could be, hold on, think about this. This could be the end of Khabib and Javier.
No.
Be careful,
Sure.
Javier, what you're doing, because
Javier would cut Jake. before
cut ties with Jake.
Yeah,
I
ever.
don't
He wouldn't
know,
even
man.
allow the ties to happen.
I
before he
just saw he said
Khabib said
100% it's a done deal.
got- Jeez, don't embarrass.
This is your camp, a.k.a.
Javier, don't embarrass us like this.
It used to be a very high quality.
I'm gonna get in shape just so I go in there just get some fucking rounds with him. I'm trying to get a little bit in shape just so I can a couple rounds. Just a couple rounds.
Just a
Give me
couple.
a little bit
Just
a
a
little
couple.
bit of rounds with him. A couple. All right. Hey, let's get into some news real quick. What you got for us there, Dave?
All right, let's hop into this first thing. Comes from the Showtime pay-per-view as well. Backstage, Nate Diaz and AJ Mckee got into it, got in a brawl, and then AJ came out afterward and basically said, like, Nate, as soon as you get out of that UFC contract, let's do it, whatever we do it. But he said it's on site, quote unquote on site. So now, basically, when he sees Nate Diaz, they're gonna fight.
No, they ain't fighting.
Yeah. No, they
AJ McKee, you're worth a lot of money now because I know you about either you just re-signed or you're about to re-sign a pretty fat ass contract.
Good for you, AJ.
Don't do anything stupid. Like, don't fight people for free.
Yeah,
That's the dumbest
I
thing.
love. No. You gotta love that. Come on, that's the best.
Don't
Here you
fight-
are, a guy that actually makes his living as a fighter, and you're gonna say, "I'll do it right now for free."
Yeah.
Dumbest thing you ever said.
Don't fight for free. Stop, man. Like,
I love it.
you are so damn talented at such a young age. Don't fight these guys for free. Now, let's get into the whole Nate Diaz, AJ McKee fight. First, guys, it's not going to happen.
No.
Okay. Nate is still with the UFC. He just got his contract extended. He'll be there for another 6 months, probably at least. And they will continue to do that until he fights whoever they want him to fight because they want him to lose so he don't leave and fight Jake Paul. That's why.
He was working at fighting Dustin Poirier in his
Yeah.
last thing.
But they ain't doing that.
No.
They know that.
No.
Dustin's locked down for a couple more fights. They're not trying to get Dustin. I don't think Dustin loses to him. But I'm saying that I think that they don't want to take a chance with him winning and then leaving.
Yeah.
So they want to match him up against somebody that can beat him.
Yeah.
They're going to match him up against to make sure like a Chimaev or somebody else that could get him out of there. And that's what they're going to do. That's what they always do. So why is this like some big mystery?
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do. And until he accepts that fight that he's comfortable with losing, then they're going to keep extending his contract. You may never see Nate Diaz fight again if he doesn't accept the fight against somebody that they want him to lose against. because he wants to go fight Jake Paul. And I said this, when did I say this, John? I said this, 6 months ago? About that, whatever. I said probably about 4 months ago. 4 months ago, something like that. He is leaving to fight these big fights. He's going to go make $5, $6, $8 million to fight Jake Paul. I'm being honest, guys. That's it. Maybe Logan. Who knows? But I think it's going to be Jake. Because that's the fight.
He's not fighting Logan.
I think he's going to fight Jake.
Yeah.
But we've seen the Paul brothers, they tend to take the bigger guy and want to fight the smaller guy, and they continue to do that. So, but regardless, Jake Paul is still bigger than Nate. I think that they're gonna wait until he eventually can get free, and they're gonna try to match that fight up. Yeah. That's it. So, but I don't think it's gonna be forever. And when he is finally free, he is not coming to Bellator to fight AJ McKee, and AJ McKee is locked down. He is locked down. That's it. He's got first off, he's got 3 more fights with them.
But let's be honest. Take a look at this.
Yes. You are right about this, by the way.
All right. AJ McKee signs. He's re-upping with Bellator and stuff, getting good money. Good for you, AJ. But Bellator is on Showtime. And if Nate Diaz wanted to box with Jake Paul or wanted to box with AJ McKee, Showtime, I'm sure would ask Bellator, and Bellator would let him go to do a boxing with Nate Diaz. Now, do I think that's a good idea for AJ? Not too sure about that.
No.
I do believe in an MMA fight, AJ McKee's going to beat Nate.
Yeah.
Okay, he's too fast for him. He's too good all around.
Well,
but if you get into the world of just boxing, Nate's not a bad boxer. He's awkward and he does things in a different fashion, but he's not facing another skilled boxer. He would do well in that, and I'm not sure that Bellator would enjoy what could possibly end up in that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, wait, what I look at is people say, AJ hasn't fought anyone. AJ would probably lose to Nate in MMA.
No way.
The reason why I say no is this, and I'm not favoring with him. I'm not favoring AJ because he's with Bellator. What I'm telling you guys is
it has nothing to do.
What you just saw with Jake Paul and with Tyron Woodley is the age. The speed is a factor. The age is a factor. The ability and athleticism is a huge factor. And look at every single person that's ever beat Nate Diaz. What majority of those fighters had against him, they were better athletes. They fought better with fight IQ.
Yep.
AJ McKee will be able to outstrike and outpoint and move and outwrestle and all those things. Now, he may get caught in a submission.
No way.
That would be the only way. You're saying no way.
He ain't getting caught in no submission.
So I say possibly. You say no. Okay?
Ain't going to happen.
I'm going to give Nate that benefit of the doubt. There's a chance he could potentially catch AJ. You're saying no.
Well,
now
there's a chance of anything.
But yes, but I think the speed, the power, the wrestling, all the movement of the athleticism, all that stuff goes to AJ.
Yep.
Absolutely. In an MMA fight. But that's because a lot of it is AJ's 26, I think. Maybe 27, but I think he's 26. Okay, and then you've got Nate. Nate's 35, 34?
36.
35, somewhere in there, yeah. So he's 35, 36. That's going to play a huge factor. Now, in boxing, the factor is still there. But AJ McKee, like we saw with Tyron Woodley tonight, doesn't matter how much experience you have fighting MMA, boxing is not the same.
Nope.
Nate Diaz's majority of his career has just been boxing or jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It hasn't been kicking. It hasn't been any of that other stuff. He's not a kickboxer. He's not a wrestler. He's not a judo guy. He's someone that either boxes you or he tries to take your fucking neck off. And that's it. There's no wrestling involved. There's nothing else. So in boxing, I think he's got the advantage because his output is there. We've seen it. We've seen it against Conor. We've seen it.
And he's got a chin.
He's got a great chin. His output is there. He's very accurate with his strikes when he throws. And the conditioning and the cardio in terms of pressure when it comes to boxing will play a big factor against AJ McKee.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying AJ can't win, but I'm going to favor Nate in the boxing. I'm going to favor AJ in the MMA.
That's exactly what I would do.
What else you got for us, Dave?
You are a genius there, Josh Thompson.
I've heard that several times.
Okay. Just wanted you to know. Just wanted to bring it back up to you.
Let's Claudia Gadelha, and this is retirement from MMA.
I sent her a text today and told her I want to wish you the very best in your retirement. Hun, you're going to absolutely fucking love it. I've loved it. I've never looked back. It's so damn great. She said she's got a lot of big things coming up, so I don't know what those are. We didn't get into it, but she said the future is bright. She's like, I'm definitely ready for the next chapter. I've got a lot of big things that I'm working on right now that are actually coming about, and that's why I announced my retirement. So all those things being said,
well, she also got a job
with her. What's that?
She got a job with the UFC.
Oh, did she?
She did.
I didn't know that.
What's
this job? Talk to me, Goose. Tell me. What do you know?
I actually sent her a message too, telling her congratulations, and hey, it's definitely not the end of it. It's just the end of one career and the start of another. But she's starting a career with the UFC. She's going to help develop fighters out of Brazil. She's going to be almost like a
ambassador.
An ambassador, and then also I can't even say what do you say when you're gonna
your coach?
Talk their language.
Oh,
interpreter. She's going to be an interpreter, translator. Yeah. So she's going to do that also. So she's got a good position with the UFC. They're offering her a job, and that's a great thing for her. She can do that forever. And she's a good person. She's a great person.
I trained with her for a while. She trained at AK. One of the first times I ever grappled with her, she fucking tried to rip my goddamn
she'll
leg.
Try to kill you.
I was like, whoa. She fucking slapped a heel hook on me, and she tried to literally fucking tear my knee out. And I was like, oh, we're not fucking around, are we? And we weren't. So after that, I treated her fucking like I would treat anybody else. I beat the shit out of her. I was like, you fucking hit me, you kicked me, you try to rip my ankle off? Okay. But guess what?
Coming back.
She's absolutely a sweetheart. She's a pleasure to be around. I've laughed and joked with her several times in terms of hanging out with her and stuff. She's such a sweetheart. But when it comes down to fighting, she's a dog, man.
Oh, she's mean.
She's mean. She is not friendly at all. I don't give a fuck if it's her. I've never had to really fight her, but in just training, it felt like a real fight. So I was like, I can imagine if I had to fight you. But overall, I want to wish her the very best in her retirement. She is an absolute amazing person, and best of luck.
You got to figure before she before the UFC had a strawweight division, she was the number one fighter in the world with Invicta.
Yeah,
and she was that good, and then she went to the UFC. She wasn't able to beat Joanna. She had one really good fight where a lot of people thought she won. Second one, people thought that Joanna won, but she's a stud.
Yeah, she is.
So good luck.
Next.
Last thing, Miesha Tate says she might need to drop down to flyweight now that Juliana Pena has won the title at 35.
What does that mean? Why? Because they've known each other forever because they both used to train out of the Northwest?
Well, she coached her on the Ultimate Fighter show.
That doesn't mean shit to me.
Thank you very much.
If we're fighting for the title and there's millions of dollars on the line, I'm fighting my mother.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Just out of curiosity. If you go down in weight, are they not faster?
They are.
Is Miesha a fast fighter?
No.
Who's a better fighter, Juliana Pena or Valentina Shevchenko?
By far, Valentina.
Why in the fuck would you go to 125 pounds?
Why would you make yourself that miserable?
Doesn't make sense. I mean, she's, look, as much as she's able to, we've seen with her training and stuff, she's obviously getting her weight down easily and stuff. But why are you going to put yourself in the position? You got to go 10 more pounds. It's just not a smart thing to do.
Look, I am probably one of the biggest Miesha Tate fans because I've known her since she was young. Because we used to fight in the Northwest Circuit around with each other and with the Dennis Holmans and the Benji Raddicks and the.
Look at you going with those people. That's some old names right there. Benji Raddick.
Old names right there. But she was all around, that circuit in terms of where we were at and stuff when she was young. She's been an absolute mainstay for that Northwest area. But when it comes down to it, no, don't do it. I don't see any benefit of you're going to have less of a chance to win the title against Valentina than you would have against Juliana Pena.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the connection and all that shit is there. I get it. You guys are both from the Northwest, that kind of material, but I don't care if you use the if it's for
the title.
The title, we had this thing in the gym at AK, And we talked to Rafael Stotts and Sergio Pettis, and we've talked to a bunch of other fighters. If it's for the title, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if it's not for the title, I'm not fighting you.
That's
I'm
great.
not fighting you. And I had this conversation when it was Khabib, it was Gray Maynard, and myself. And they kept asking me after I beat Nate. They said, hey, so, Gray Maynard's ranked, like right there by you. And then, got Khabib's coming up. He just broke into the top 10 or top 15 or whatever it was. And I'm like, there's so much shit that has to happen for that shit to work out. And with her, she's coming off of a loss. Like Juliana's the champ. You have a long ways to go.
Long way.
Why are you gonna torture yourself now? Why don't you go win a couple more fights at 135 and then figure out if you're going to get to the title?
Because if you win a couple at 135, which is an easy weight cut for you and you're comfortable at, and they're slower because they're a little bit bigger, you can always drop to 125 and you're right there. It'll actually go with you. You'll have to win one fight.
Yeah, John, I don't know. I'm a huge Miesha Tate fan, but that's not a good idea.
I don't think so.
All right, guys. Well, hey, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/weighing in. Use that promo code and steal. And I love how you guys are still hashtagging us all the time on Twitter and Instagram and all the other spots, as well as in our YouTube comment section. So make sure you guys hit that link down below in our YouTube section that takes you to our Weighing In Extras channel, which we do the Weighing In Introduction show for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy that show. It's a fun little show we do. It's about 8 to 12 minutes long. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's just fun for us. We do it because you guys get to see the real personality between John and I. We're total fucking nerds. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. But pick up one of our shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com/weighing in. Use the promo code ANDSTILL. You guys will get a little 20% off on that. And there's plenty of shirts to choose from. Christmas is coming up. Give it to someone that likes MMA or listens to our podcast. We just want to thank you guys for continuing to tune in and support us and do all the things that you guys hit us up, and I love the fact that you guys continue to hit us up. You guys are sending me fan mail to my gym. I want to thank you guys for that. I sign it and send it back. Absolutely amazing. I get a bunch of free shirts, which I got to give to John here coming up next time we do a show. But I got some Detroit boxing shirts and stuff that someone sent me, so I want to say thank you for those, and I'm going to get those to John when I see him next. But John, that pretty much wraps up our show for tonight. What do you think?
It does wrap up, and it wraps up the year with no more Bellator, no more UFC. We have to wait until the start of January to actually have more fights, but that's okay. We got other stuff coming. And if you are a fan and you have a question, go to our page and put in the thing right there. If you have a question, you can ask a fan question and we will answer it because we're going to have plenty of time to do that in the next couple of weeks. So good shows coming up, lots of answers. And for everyone out there, thank you for listening to us. We hope you have enjoyed and we will see ya.